I have a story that still chills me when I think about it. I never told anyone about that night in Oklahoma. It was a night full of thunder and fear, a night I wish I could forget. My partner and I had nowhere else to go when the tornado warning came. We took shelter in our kind neighbor's underground storm bunker. She was a 70-year-old widow who lived next door. I did not know much about her, but she was always nice and kept to herself. That day, she told us to use her bunker. I was scared but had no choice. When we went down, the air was cold and damp. The only light came from a small lamp that made shadows dance on the rough walls. We saw rows of stacked canned goods, piles of old magazines, and many other forgotten things. But one thing made my heart beat faster: a locked door at the back of the room. The old widow said in a low, steady voice, "Leave that door alone." I nodded and tried to forget about it. Outside, the storm raged with loud thunder and howling wind. The sound made me feel small and alone. I sat there with my partner, trying to hide my fear. Deep inside, I felt something strange, a mix of worry and a pull I could not fight. I kept looking at the locked door. My partner noticed my gaze, but she said nothing. I felt trapped between fear and a burning need to know what was behind that door. After a while, the old woman fell asleep, her soft breathing the only sound in the bunker besides the storm. I felt my heart pounding. I looked at the door again and could not ignore my curiosity. I told my partner softly, "I need to check it out." Her eyes widened, and she looked scared, but she did not stop me. I found an old key on a dusty shelf. It fit the lock. With shaking hands, I turned the key, and the door creaked open slowly. A cold, musty air rushed out as I peered into a narrow hallway behind it. The hallway was dark, with walls that smelled of old secrets. I took a few steps, my hand trembling, and then I heard a sound behind me. I called out, "I will be right back," hoping to ease my own fear. I left my partner in the main room, her worried face fading into the distance as I stepped forward. The narrow hall led to a second, hidden chamber. I almost did not want to see what lay ahead. The room was filled with old children's clothing, small dresses, and tiny suits that looked as if they had been kept for a long time. Dusty toys lay in corners, and broken dolls sat with empty, staring eyes. But the worst part was the wall. It was completely covered in hundreds of old Polaroids. I walked closer, my pulse racing, and saw that every picture showed a child standing in front of a plain concrete wall. Each child had tied hands and eyes that looked full of terror. I saw dates on the photos. Some were from the 1980s, and others were as recent as 2019. My stomach dropped, and I felt cold sweat on my skin. I did not know who these children were, or why their faces were fixed in a look of fear. I tried to step back, but my legs felt frozen. The images burned into my mind like a dark secret I could not forget. Then, I heard a soft shuffle behind me. I turned quickly, but there was no one there. I felt as if many eyes were watching me, hidden in the dark corners of the room. I ran back to the main bunker room and slammed the door shut. My partner stared at me, her face full of worry and shock. I told her everything in a hushed whisper. She said, "We should leave now." But the storm still roared outside, and the old woman was still sleeping in her small corner of the room. I sat down, trying to make sense of the terror I had just seen. My heart beat loudly as thunder shook the bunker. I wondered if the old woman had known about that hidden room all along and why she begged us not to go there. I spent the rest of the night sitting in silence with my partner. The storm slowly died, but the memory of those lost, frightened eyes would not fade. In the cold light of the next day, we left the bunker and stepped back into the quiet, unsure world outside. I never told anyone what I saw that night, even though I feel it in my bones every time I hear a storm. I fear people will not believe me, or worse, that they might think I made it all up. That night changed me. I do not know if what I saw was all real, or if my mind played tricks on me. I have learned that some secrets are better left alone, and some doors are best left closed. Even now, when dark clouds gather and thunder rumbles in the distance, I remember those photos and the hidden room, and my heart still pounds in fear. I still walk in quiet streets at night, always alert for a shadow that might be watching me from somewhere dark. I keep silent about that night, a secret I carry with me, hidden deep where even I dare not name it.